Well, you see, I'm a Donald Ducky in this sweater.
It's the Scott and Allie Not for Air podcast. The rules are gone. The shirt is untucked. Here's Scott and Allie.
Allie Payne.
Scott Free.
It's the Scott and Allie Not for Air podcast. Can you do me a quick favor?
Sure.
I want you to do me a favor and click on my, this is for anyone that's watching the video feed of this. Click on my face. I'm a little sick and tired of being on the bottom. Would you just slide me up to the top?
Boom.
Whoa, there we are. With the sound
That's how it should be. You know, you can't always be a bottom, you know?
Well, you know, sometimes you got to switch up the experience and the sensations.
What sensation are we giving today?
I got so much stuff I got to get into. There might be a little bit of it'll be a funny mix of me having a moment, but then at the same time, I think you're going to love what we've come up with.
Wait, before you do that,
Yes.
Can I address one thing that got messaged to me today? So it was a DM about our podcast, and she said, I was watching and you said you weren't feeling good, and I think you might have a vitamin D deficiency because you looked gray.
You look dead, Allie. That's just this is the same thing. What was the celebrity that did something and it was a fan that said, you have a melanoma, and they were right.
Oh.
This happened recently, within the past few years.
Hugh Jackman.
He always has a melanoma. It was somebody else.
I don't know.
Maybe it was Hugh actually, but remember
he gets it a lot.
It was something where it was someone that had noticed it, just a complete random fan.
Yeah.
And they went from there. Now the vitamin D, I will go with. You might be right on that, or they might be right on that. We're in the time of year, sunlight is not abundant. We're all dragging a little bit. Do you take vitamin D?
I do not, but I also think it just I wasn't feeling good. So
you'll be surprised how vitamin D helps. Actually, I should probably start taking some. I've been exhausted getting up in the morning. Like I
really?
just drain. Well,
how are you sleeping at night? Are you getting to bed at a decent hour?
Yeah, okay. But the problem with it is it's just this time of year.
It's
just more gray than not.
I take these greens every day. And
that's for your brown eye.
And I know. Oh my God. I know. Keeps me regular. I want to see if there's vitamin D in there though, because if so, shop. I don't even know where to. Oh,
you might need just an extra supplement of it, and you might find after a week of taking it the difference, and you might sleep better.
I am not good at taking any vitamins, any pills. I could never take birth control when I was even doing that. Oh, sorry.
But you remember to eat your greens every day.
Isn't that weird?
Yes.
It's
completely weird.
It is. I don't know. Oh,
set an alarm on your phone. What?
Nutrition facts. Is there vitamin D?
It's probably not like it is if it's a supplement. Not anywhere near.
No, it doesn't say vitamin D at all.
No.
There's lots of other things. I mean, it's got, alfalfa grass, broccoli.
Broccoli.
Why do you have to say broccoli? Like you can't be like broccoli. It's gonna
it's broccoli.
Alfalfa seeds. What else is in there? Cinnamon bark. Anyway.
Cinnamon bark.
Yeah, I guess there's cinnamon bark in here. And then you get the rest, but not vitamin D.
No, I don't get the rest. I have no idea why you eat it.
It's fruits, veggies. It's not no vitamin D.
Try the vitamin D supplement. A little clear. Well, they're kind of clear. The yellow hue to them, but it might help.
And fish oil.
No, because every time you burp you burp a salmon right out of your mouth.
I know. I don't know why anybody ever takes fish oil. I mean, is it ever prescribed? Because I don't want my breath to smell like fish.
Well, and here's the thing. I know you can get the one where it's the anti-fish burp.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can. I
didn't know that.
Pretty sure they sell, like, how they have the anti-flush niacin, which is also very good for you, because niacin can make you flush right out and turn all red.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I don't know either.
I don't
really.
even know what niacin is. I was going with it.
It's in something. You know what they used to say? It was in cereal commercials, loaded with niacin, potassium. You remember those back in the day, trying to make Cocoa Pebbles sound healthy? A daily dose of niacin.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Wait.
That'll save me.
Now I got to look this up.
But yeah,
is niacin. Okay, never mind. Go ahead. It can treat high cholesterol and triglyceride levels, as well as niacin deficiency. It can also reduce the risk of heart attack and slow narrowing of the arteries.
Oh, I should take some.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know why. I have no issues with my heart.
I'm not sure if you're supposed to take it daily, though. It is okay to take niacin daily. Yes, some people can take niacin daily, but niacin isn't for everyone. If you have a liver disease or ulcers, then you should not be taking niacin.
Oh, now that's funny because my ex, who clearly is shocked that I'm shocked she doesn't have a liver disease, it took niacin regularly.
Wait. It says certain medical conditions like liver disease and peptic ulcers prevent people from taking niacin.
Well,
the Scott and Allie Not For Air podcast is sponsored by Allison Aesthetics. It's Allie Payne. Come along with me in my journey.
Part of my maintenance, like you guys say, I get my nails done. I get my hair done. But the lips are what make me feel good. Got to get in there. Got to get those lips done. When I started, it was like, oh, I'm just going to put a little toe in there. And now I'm like, yeah, I want to plump these babies up. So for me, it's been an evolution. So just wait. I was asking Jamie for the keyhole because I saw it on somebody else. And I was like, I want her lips. Give me that.
Mandatory consultations at Allison Aesthetics. So if you're considering any of these treatments, such as Botox or a little lip filler or just any skincare concern, that is something that we will always offer.
But then when I see the before and afters of the lips, I'm like, oh yeah, that looks freaking awesome.
Yep.
That is such a difference. That's perfect. This is my self-care. This makes me happy.
I gotta tell you how this unfolded, but it turned into something great, and I think you're gonna love it. And I had Jason, the producer, in hysterics with this.
What?
Now, love where we are. We've said this a million times. Love the company we work for. We are blessed to have higher ups that actually like us, which sometimes I sit there and I go, that's interesting, but okay, we'll take it.
Yeah.
But they're great people, right?
Yeah.
This building always has a level of interesting as you come to what we would call the market level. Okay. On the big level, there's no other way to say it but the corporate level, although they hate the term corporate. Great people. We have great relationships with everyone, great respect for them, love them, right?
Yeah.
Here, it's always interesting. Now, interesting has a lot of definitions. You could have the definition of interesting in a bad way, interesting in a funny way. I mean, and we've had it all. Am I right?
Yeah, that's why I'm curious where you're going with
Well,
this.
I'm going to tell you a funny story. So in this part of New York State where Allie and I emanate from, we are...
Emanate.
Yeah.
That's the word.
We're not in New York City, where it's the big city. We're not in the Rochester or Buffalo. Now, the people that are local are going, we know where you are. You've been here 18 years. But there are people elsewhere that catch the podcast too.
Look up the Finger Lakes.
Yes. So we're an area that I've described to people many times. If we had an actual downtown that was a defined one downtown, we'd be a much bigger perceived area. The difference is we have a number of small towns. We have Watkins Glen, we have Corning, we have Elmira, we have Mansfield, we have Hornell, Sayre. So we have this big circled area that we cover without one defined downtown. You go to these different, we'll call them towns or little cities. That's what they are.
There's no central location.
Exactly. But equally, the area is a big area, but it's an interesting area.
Yes.
Because you find when you are in a more metropolitan area, I'll go a Buffalo or Rochester, Albany, things like that in New York State, you have more defined rules when it comes to marijuana.
Yes.
Even Ithaca has an actual legal dispensary, which is sanctioned through New York State.
Binghamton too.
Buffalo, Rochester, other areas, in New York City, about 1,000. They're all sanctioned, and run by the state or monitored by the state. Yeah. We don't have that. So we have some, we'll say,
sticker shops,
intrepid entrepreneurs that open the sticker shops, which work in a way, which is, for those that don't know, quite interesting. You purchase a sticker or an item and you get a gift. And if you can't figure out what that gift is, then I can't help you much more.
Right.
So that being said, I was sitting in here with Gisano, the producer, and which, by the way, we've totally just switched his name from Jason to Gisano.
I love it.
Me too. So Gisano,
he doesn't even look Italian at all.
No, and he doesn't. It doesn't bat an eye at it. He's like, whatever these two do to me. So. At any rate, Gisano and I are working in here, and this was yesterday. You had one of your days of a billion things happening, so we had some alone time together, father and son.
Yeah.
And
you're like, son, let's go play catch.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So in comes our general manager. Now, you have to also realize our general manager, one of the nicest gentlemen on the planet. I don't want to discredit anything, and I'm not really making fun of him, but he made a very funny observation, and it rolls into where we're going here.
Okay.
So in comes Dave, and he likes to kind of share what he's doing at that time, you know?
Always.
But it's okay. It's nice, you
10
know.
times.
I'd rather he comes in and shares that instead of I hate you trying to find a way to get you fired. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, this is the handoff.
Yeah.
We get to hear stories about how he made a cup of coffee, walked away from it for an hour, and did 3 things and came back and it was still sitting there. I'll take that conversation over going home every day wondering, will I have a job the next day?
Okay, good point.
You have to look glass half full. So we get into the conversation. He goes, I got to call the owner. If we were smart, we would get a license. And he was referring to a legal New York State license to sell marijuana.
Oh.
Now, it'll never happen because there's also federal. I mean, the federal stuff's really not connected to the podcast, but for the radio side of things, we're federally licensed.
Just think about this. We already are on our way to the format that's being used about the sticker thing.
Mm-hmm.
We can give away station T-shirts, or people can come pick up prizes, and also there. Well, I guess because
I'm giving you the rock eyebrow here. Where are you going?
Well, then this would be a great place for them to also pick up their sticky icky.
Gift. Yeah. Can't help you. A gift. So at any rate, it wouldn't happen here. But then the conversation drifted to something you told me.
What?
And I've talked to a couple other people about this too, in front of, including one of our friends who owns another convenience store.
Yeah.
So you'll see how it all comes together.
Okay.
So across the street from the radio station is a beautiful new, not even 3-year-old gas station. It's one of those nice state-of-the-art, 20 pumps, all nice and advanced, really nice, clean convenience store, big.
Yep.
And one of the ones that, honestly, also a weird oddity in New York State, you can buy good pizza at a convenience store.
I just said this to my friend Sonia. I was at a waxing appointment, and I was telling her how much you love gas station pizza.
Only across the street and at our friend Karen's. Those are the 2 places.
And we both agreed the buffalo chicken wing, so good. And I said, sometimes Scott will get a wild hair up his butt, and he'll go, I should buy a Detroit style pizza.
Oh, they got the best one across the street.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I get it loaded with all the stuff that Allie and I love and everybody else hates. So it's just ours.
Just ours.
That being said, Dave did not know that the new gas station, which also I mentioned, they redirected traffic to build. We're on an intersection that has it's like a 3-point intersection. It's real weird. So they redirected and put in special lights and all that, and redirected the flow of traffic. So it really changed quite a bit. Come to find out, this gas station's closing now. I'm not going to lie to you. Before I get into where this became kind of funny and how it all ties together, there's nothing, and this is not exclusive for here. I have worked in a lot of different places. I mean, I've worked in Cleveland, Buffalo, Detroit, West Palm Beach. I hate when businesses go out, and especially in an area you can see very well, and it's left vacant just to rot and become dilapidated and just fall down. And it's an eyesore. It looks like hell, you know?
Yeah.
It makes your community look like crap. And I care about where I live. I like where we live,
Right,
you know?
right. I agree.
So I'm like, God, and it really kills me because you think this brand new gas station, and I don't know how they're losing money. It was packed today when I drove back to the station from a quick errand. I'm like, how are they losing money? Whatever. So at any rate, it's set to close. Now, I just pray another company of convenience stores, and we know another company, and I'm hoping that they will buy that location. They actually don't have a location near us, and it doesn't stay vacant long because it's an eyesore. It sucks. Remember, right up the road from us, we had a little gas station.
I think it was a Speedway.
It was.
No, wait. It first was a Hess.
Yes,
When
years ago a Hess.
I think it was like a Hess, a Valero, and then it became a Speedway.
Right.
Yes. Oh, I know. It really is. It looks like in those shows and movies where it's like the side of the desert and there's this dilapidated gas station that's always on the side of the desert. That's what it reminds me of.
It actually looks like Flint, Michigan. So anyway, at any rate, I was hoping that it's not going to happen. And then it hit me. I said, well, that's how you get the the license. And this is where I made some notes. I thought I'd share with you here.
Okay.
Because we had to come up with some names for our new store and maybe a couple slogans. And I'm going to run these by you. You tell me what you think. Okay.
Because I want to say one other thing.
Yes.
So one of the things that we give out, I was trying to originally I was saying when people come and pick up shirts or tickets here that we can give them the wheat. So now piggybacking on your idea, we're always hawking radio station stickers.
Oh, yes, we are.
So we can add this into your idea.
All right, perfect.
Okay, good.
So how do you like this one? And Gisano loved all of these.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah,
and even Dave did too.
Yeah.
So we have the gas and grass.
Okay, so are we still keeping it gas?
Well, yeah, you wouldn't want to pull out the 20 new pumps.
Okay,
Let's make money
okay.
everywhere.
Gas
you know?
and grass, love
so we
it.
got
Yeah,
the gas and grass.
Yeah.
How about the old pump and puff?
Oh, I like that. I was thinking pump and pleasure.
Pump and
But
pleasure
that-
works. Well, no, that's there'll be a section in the store for that because it seems many of these places are very diverse in their product line when you walk in.
Yeah, okay.
So you like the old pump and puff?
Yeah.
All right. How about the gas and ganja?
I love that one too.
Okay, so far we've got possibilities for all of them,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Now I started to work up a couple slogans, and tell me what you think about this.
Yeah.
Never a high price.
Oh, I love that one.
See, this is my marketing skills at the highest. And then also, because we'll end up voicing the commercial like we do all of them for this company, you have the slogan, just roll on in.
Oh, that is so cute too.
You see what I did? So should we I'm going to save this, should we end up buying the gas station across the street and diversify even further and decide to get the license and really capitalize on this, which would make us the first officially licensed marijuana distributor in the southern tier of New York, other than Ithaca, which is shocking, the amount of high people here. And everywhere you go, you smell it. I can't believe New York hasn't come in to say, well, let's throw one in.
And I don't know if this is true of this place across the street. Is there a drive-through around the building or in the back? Because how great would it be if you could just do a drive-through as well?
There honestly is not in that building a drive-through.
I couldn't remember because I don't go over there very often.
Yeah, no,
But
it's...
that I think would really set us apart too.
No, if we had the drive-through, kind of like the Smoke and Joe's where you can go in Pennsylvania and get the cheap cigarettes.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then what if we even...
Not that I know.
What if we even had we talked about this. Now, Scott, I don't know if you were here when we talked about this because this might have been last Monday when we were talking about the parties in the gas station bathrooms.
Oh, the discos. I saw them.
Yes.
They're great.
Okay, so what if we had something, it doesn't have to be in the bathroom though, but we kind of have a disco nights too, or we can have party nights. And because we have so many different radio stations, one night could be the rock night, another night could be the country night.
Sure.
And we could do different themed parties. I think this is a great idea.
So there you go. That's my workaround. And I've got names and slogans ready to go should we want to open the old pump and puff. And I think we have to put on there the old, not OLD, the old.
OL.
The old pump and puff.
Yeah. I think pump and puff. Let me see that paper again.
No, yeah, here you can have that. There you go. Whoops,
okay.
Sorry.
Let me see which one I like the best.
Now you know how close Allie and I are.
Gas and grass, pump and puff, gas and ganja. Oh, I like that one. I think pump and puff is my favorite. Also,
you don't like the pump and pleasure?
I don't even like my own idea. Also, so my future brother-in-law and sister-in-law, they went to Buc-ee's when they were down in Florida recently.
Oh, I've heard of this store chain. Yeah.
Yes, and people go crazy over Buc-ee's.
Well, they do for this other place called Wawa's.
Yes.
And I want a Wawa's to say Wawa.
My brother loves Wawa's. That's what I was telling them too, how Wawa is that same.
You can't help but smile when you say Wawa.
So here's the thing. If we do this pump and puff, for instance, then I think what the thing about Buc-ee's especially is it's got the little guy. They have all the koozies and T-shirts and sweatshirts. So we're going to have to come up with, I feel like, a little mascot. So it could be possibly a little marijuana joint holding as if he's going to pump your gas for you.
Sure.
Or something, and little smoke coming out of it. Actually, that's what it is. So the smoke comes out and the smoke spells pump and puff.
There you go.
Okay.
That's the slogan. Out front when they have those blow in the wind, 8 foot, tall. Yeah. If you're watching the video, ours would just be blades of grass. That's how you get around it's huge. I got this thing all figured out. The marketing plan's done for this.
This is so smart. I don't know federally. Do you think they would allow gas and weed? Because transportation and weed, you see all those billboards that even if you're a little high, you shouldn't drive, those type things.
Well, this is where my bit gets ruined. Yeah, you're probably
Sorry.
right. No, you're probably but hold on.
Okay.
You drive to a liquor store.
I know.
And you drive away. It's not like you walk only to a liquor store.
I know.
We're convenience.
We are paving the way for I wonder if in California
using asphalt.
Right. I wonder in California, does anybody have something like this? Because if we really are the first, let's go.
The old pump and puff.
Yes. The hard part is, full disclosure, anyone that I've talked to that owns a weed shop, they say staffing is the hardest thing to do.
I've never seen a place that doesn't have a full staff. I mean, they only have one eye open, but I've never seen, a place that doesn't have 30 people working there.
We call it sticky icky for a reason. I think that they get a little sticky fingered on the product.
Oh, or do they get, no pun intended, burned out?
I think there's that too. Because remember, we have the people who have the ice cream shop.
Yeah.
That are close, that we worked with closely. And she was a previous weed
she worked there for quite a period of time.
And I think she literally got burnt out.
I think so. There are very few, I don't use, I've never used, I know it sounds crazy, but I never have. But I only can think of one person I know that has the tolerance to be able to work at a weed store for 12 hours a day.
Ugh.
Ironically, we work with them. But
yes, I know you're
there's
about.
two actually that we work with now that I think about that could do
maybe
that.
Maybe
3.
Actually 4.
Okay. But at the same time, I'm like, I couldn't. Like, you and I have done events to assist in the opening of these places. And
2 hours I'm good.
I'm done.
I've had to do a 4-hour one. I can't, the smell, I just can't.
It's too much for me. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's part of the staffing problem. However, I would like to think with our old pump and puff, I would prefer to keep it more. Well, first of all, it would be licensed. So there would be no light it up and sample the product while you're there. Then, I only know this stuff because we've done events around this.
It's okay if you're still talking about it and being somewhat educated.
Right. Well, in these places, I mean, first of all, it's like walking into a UFO, the official dispensaries. It's crystal clean, well lit. I went to one in California.
It's totally different than the ones here. I loved the one in California. And even the one in California, you walk into this lobby, think of, when you walk into like a nicer skyscraper or something in a bigger city, and there will be like a lobby first.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Okay.
Yes.
So it's all glass. And then to the left was the lounge, totally separate from the shop to the right. The shop to the right was glass, white, pristine.
Yes.
That I could work with. And here's the other thing.
That's the way it would have to be across the street if we ended up getting the license and put it in there. It would have to be, and no sampling. And to be quite honest with you, I'd hang the sign and I'd say, please no smoking 20 feet around the building. In other words, take what you're going to do.
Home.
Go home. Take your kid in the stroller that you bring to the other places and go home.
And this is why.
And I'm not joking about that either.
This is why I was going to breeze past that. This is why we should do it, because I have a friend back home who is she was dating a drug dealer, a weed dealer, and whatever. And he said you don't get high on your own supply.
Right.
So we wouldn't be getting high on our own supply.
No.
It's all profits.
It would be all profits. And now I'm not saying I necessarily want to do it. You can pay me for the marketing ideas that I just gave you, and I can step away at that point. I don't have a lot of free time, and I don't love it as much that I'm passionate other than coming up with fun
And
names.
that's what I think you have to be, because it's even this profession or whatever profession you're in, I have to be passionate about my profession.
Yeah.
And we have or do work with people who are not passionate about it.
And you see the result of that or lack thereof.
Yes.
Yep.
Exactly.
I have something else I want to talk to you about.
All right, before we do that, my forehead is so shiny. Why is it so
I think the light's just hitting you right. Look I got this one spot though on my forehead that if you're watching on video, it looks as though I just went with a polishing rag.
You could put an entire billboard on my forehead. It's so shiny. What is going on? Okay, what's the other thing?
You're sweating. All right,
I'm not. I'm very comfortable.
Well, let me make it uncomfortable. I'll do my job.
Please do.
You had to have seen this on Instagram.
What?
the when you were 21 trend.
Yes.
Oh, God.
I really wanted to tap in on that one. Oh, my God. I've got some pictures.
Okay, this brings me to so I saw one of the comments under and now for those of you that don't know, this it's a story trend. You post a picture of when you were 21. So if you're 40 now or you're in your 30s or whatever, this is me at 21.
I was such a dirtbag.
Well, but hold on. This is great. This one post from this guy, Brian, goes, quote, "How do people have such instant access to photos of themselves at 21?" He goes, "For the life of me, I wouldn't know where to look."
So I was thinking about that because I thought, well, I could go back to my Facebook, but I didn't start my Facebook until I think I was 23. And I would actually have to go back to my parents' house maybe and get...
You'd have to get a picture.
An actual picture, I think. Because maybe I have it at my house. Actually... By next week, I will pull up a picture when I was 21. I've got some great pictures from me.
You mean trashy ones?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Things that I'm like, why did I let anyone capture this era of my life? Oh my God, hold on. There's one. I don't have a picture. I have to read you something because the girl I actually bought our house from, she did this trend. So she was in front of that bar, Oaks. Remember Oaks?
Oh, do I remember Oaks? Actually, there are nights I don't remember Oaks because I was there.
Well, and I was such an Oaks rat. So this is our exchange.
You temporarily sucked me into that for a brief period.
Here's what I said to her.
Years ago. My God, that has to be 10 plus years ago, maybe more.
Here's what I said to her. She posted her picture where she was like basically falling all over in front of Oaks. I said, Oaks rat, I was one too. And she goes, literally paid their electric bills.
That's awesome. Well, I think there's one of me, and you might know the picture. I'm pretty sure it's my friend Jeremy that we're all still friends from high school. And there's periods throughout the year. It's a special occasion or someone's birthday. Someone will whip out a prom picture from when we were like 18. You've seen that one.
Yes.
And
when you had hair.
I did. There's another one of me, and you'll laugh at this because I know you've seen it. It's on my Facebook. It's me coming down a flight of stairs, like in my Rob's basement. I am wearing a Cosby Show style sweater. It was so out of control. Me with the full head of hair, my real hair, not when I had the system for a while, when I was really like 23. And I'm coming down the stairs and I'm like, hey! And I'm like, oh, I don't think much has changed except for the hairline.
We talked on the show just today about you being a trendsetter with your New Balance.
Yeah, well, I do what I can.
That's the other thing is those Cosby sweaters. You were a trendsetter. Do you still have any of those left?
I don't. I wish I did. I used to have back in the day because I was a late teen in the era, well, mid to late teen in the era of the Cosby sweaters. I had some banging Cosby sweaters.
Let me tell you what.
Which almost feels creepy to say Cosby sweaters today because of his reputation, but I got to be honest with you.
Hey, here's my rape sweater.
Where you see, I don't know what else. I don't know what else to call it. What else do you? My really obnoxious sweater. It doesn't roll off as well, you know.
Your 90s sweater. But here's the one
thing. Well, you see, I'm a Donald Ducky in this sweater. There's the rape sweater.
Oh my God. So this is where I'm not a hoarder, but I'm glad for one thing. I kept a lot of my clothes and shoes from high school to now.
Oh, I'm blown away at this because women have so much.
Yes, but
you should see, I just emptied my walk-in closet from all my excess stuff. 3/4 of my basement is waiting for a U-Haul for her to come pick up.
When are we going to talk about that? But hang on a second.
Yeah, that may be a podcast soon.
I've got Doc Martens, original Doc Martens from.
They're probably worth a fortune.
Oh yeah, because these are black with white smudges on them. They're intentionally that way. And they probably are worth a fortune. I'll wear them every once in a blue, but they're so freaking uncomfortable.
Well, you see, I once used the line, I'd be a doctor like Martin.
Here's my question for the next podcast.
God, are you setting this up for the next podcast? Listen.
I don't know because I have to ask the question.
Ask the question and I'll try to answer it the best I can.
Okay, because I listened to a Thanksgiving podcast yesterday.
Yep.
And then I listened to last week's podcast yesterday, like right next to each other.
Yes.
And it went from talking about, are you going to get 60-59 a Christmas gift?
Right.
And then, of course, now we're in a different space.
Yes.
So she pretty much lives with you. So my question is...
or just does.
Well, yes, but I'm going to say pretty much because my question is her stuff all moved in the closet?
Yes.
Okay, so she has
I'll tell you that now.
She has no clothes at her other house.
Oh, no, there might be a couple things, but,
Did she come with because when I just recently moved, I pick up all of my clothes by the hangers.
Yeah.
And I put them in my back seat. I don't take them off the hangers. I just...
Now I got to make a note for the next podcast so I don't forget. I have a question for you about the way you handle your closet. Write that down. You have the gas station, the old pump and puff paperwork.
Yeah.
Write that down. For next podcast, Scott has a question about hanging clothes.
Okay, I'll get there.
We'll get that for next week on that because it's nothing bad. It's just I'm curious to see where people do things.
Did she come like that where she had all of her clothes in the back seat and it came all at once? Or was it like 5 outfits, 5 outfits, 5 outfits, 5 outfits?
It was very briefly a few outfits and then essentially it was the back seat.
And did you guys say, hey, bring all your clothes? Or did it just happen?
Yes, I mean the conversation was there to bring it. I know.
So you weren't surprised when all of a sudden?
No, I encouraged it. Are you kidding?
Okay, right.
Yeah.
I need somebody to take care of my children. No, I'm just kidding.
No, that's not the only reason.
Yeah, not the only reason, but one of them.
Well, she is very good to them. I don't want to hear a dick. I just got to go with you're a dick. No, but she's very good to the kids, and the kids, enjoy her a lot. So that's nice. Listen. That's nice.
Nice, that's nice.
But no, it is.
Words, eloquent words, Scott.
Well, you freaking set me up every time.
So you said, bring your clothes. I
said I prefer them on the floor, but you put them in the closet if you want.
And then you took a drawer and put your underwear in a different place so she could have a drawer?
No, this might require, I'll tell you what, we're going to do this. We'll have closet talk.
Okay.
We could literally do this podcast from my closet or her closet too now next time. Let's do closet talk next podcast.
Okay,
because
that sounds good.
I'll describe to you the incredible changes that have happened in that closet. And I will explain to you, because here's the thing. I want to be cautious until the legal papers go out to have certain items picked up, if you will, from someone.
Because I was
it's all in an order of business.
I was with Zach for how long? And I came and brought I had 3 things that constantly hung there. And I had one of those little, those cubes that you have in college.
He constantly hung there too. Hey,
one of those cubes from college.
Yes.
And I had all my stuff in the cubes.
Yeah.
And I would just bring a suitcase every single week. It would be in and out because my outfits for me changed so frequently depending on what we were doing.
Well, that's actually going to be part of next week's podcast because there's a dynamic change that's happened here too. Now, again, there is some stuff. I'll explain to you why not every single item from her house has made it to
her Barbies from her childhood are not there yet.
No, not quite yet.
Right.
But we'll get to that because, and again,
all right, all for next week.
Yeah, you'll like it because I got observations and nothing bad. It's all good. But
he's got to learn to form his words the correct way.
Well, maybe you could stop, pitching me these damn curveballs that I keep trying to fall down a hole into and I have to dig myself out of. And you know what? I didn't have to grovel this podcast. I feel flipping great.
Oh, good.
So thank you for not putting me there.
Good.
All right. Next week, Closet Talk.
All right, bye.
Well, that was fun. Wasn't that fun? That was fun. Do us a favor, will you? Subscribe. Share the Scott and Allie Not for Air podcast. Touch our buttons. We know you want to.